Yo, what up, everybody? How y'all doing? Thanks for watching the Grind2Hard podcast, where we talk about everybody's passion. We get entrepreneurs on here, we get people who are on the grind and see what their story is so that maybe you get a little spark and figure out you could do it too. Honestly, what entrepreneurship, you want to call it that, or you want to just, figure out what your side hustle will be and then just be a little bit more happier in life. That's what we're here to do. I'm Chef Clay. This is the podcast, Grind2Hard, and thank you for watching. I'd love to see if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. You want to grow that audience and let other people know what we have going on here, or just check me out on IG, see some little snippets that we have of the podcast, and you see some really cool people that are entrepreneurs here in El Paso. So like I said, thanks for watching, and today we have a co-host. My co-host is actually been a guest in previous episodes. His name is Chef Tony Mendoza.
What's up, everyone? What are you doing?
Yeah, over at Jam's Kitchen, right?
Yes.
Excellent. And so we were on a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah. Thanks for making that phone call or that text. You just let me know, hey, man, it's been a year. I'm like, damn, I've been doing this for a year?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. This is episode 61 right 61. Here. So, yeah, absolutely, man. So, Chef Tony, I appreciate you coming back.
No, thank you for having me back, man. Thank you. Absolutely. Now I'm a co-host.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah, man. Seriously. I remember when we jammed the first time, we really had a good, chemistry, man. So, absolutely, then. So, I'm glad you could be here for this episode. So, a year later, like, I remember when you first came to me, it was that phone call. It was like, hey, and like I said before, man, much respect, because you were executive sous chef at one of my favorite restaurants, top 5 in El Paso, Casa Pantera, and holding a great position, pushing out some great food, having a badass crew. And you said, hey, man, I like what you do. I'd like to do something similar, but do you recommend me kind of letting go of the tether at this point? And I said, hell yeah, man, because I could sense your passion at that time, man. Seriously. Can you go back to that moment? Like, seriously?
Yeah, man. And it was like, honestly, it's no regrets. I love it, man. I miss the rush sometimes.
Oh, like we do. Absolutely,
that rush, the people, but
the bullshitting back there.
Like, you know what I mean? But for the most part, like, I have no regrets as far as like doing what I did, taking that step. And
can you go back like in that moment though? Because I can feel like you're like this.
Man, it was scary.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was one of those things. It's like, did I? Even I feel like a few months after that, I was like, did I do the right? Did I make the right decision? Did I make the right choice?
Because there's some people you actually disappointed by doing that, but there were some people that were backing you up and saying that.
For the majority, I had a lot of support. Because it was time for me to
grow,
do my thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, but man, it's been a blessing. I've been very lucky that I've been very blessed.
Sure.
That I've had the outcome that I have, the support that I've had. I mean, it just keeps getting. It went from just meal preps now to
that was month 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then now salsas, markets,
salsas. Look at this, guys. I don't know if this is the peanut butter one.
So that one right there, guys. The pickle lovers out there, that's my pickle the gallo.
So I had a really a big thing for the pickle beer when it came out. I was like, every time, bro, I needed one of those, and so. Pickled salsa. I'm gonna definitely try this.
My pickle de gallo, and then this other one is a peanut butter and jelly.
And jelly.
So people, it's funny when they go to the markets and I tell them it's a peanut butter and jelly salsa. They're like, ugh.
Yeah. It's hard for me too because I'm not the peanut butter lover, but salsa.
And then they try it and they're just like, I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, I know. That's the whole point. Like,
so and like I mentioned, like you talked about your habanero.
Agave mango habanero.
Agave mango habanero.
So I have about 20 different salsas.
Okay.
At the markets, I usually take about 8-10 salsas at the markets.
Okay.
Sometimes a little less, depending on how big the market is. But you'll always find me at the Yard Patio Beer Garden on Sundays.
So if I wanted to buy some of this, like the Yard Beer Garden.
The Yard Patio Beer Garden off Montana. It's far east. But I'm usually there every single Sunday. This Saturday, I'll be at.
Which is the date? What's the date? This Saturday is the 5th? October 5th.
The 5th, yes. I'll be at Tequila Mockingbird over on the west side from 4 to 9.
Okay.
They're going to have a market, and they're going to have something with the dogs and everything.
Okay. But not just for the salsas. You actually do caterings too, right?
Yes, I do caterings as well. Basically, I let my customers know, my clients know that I can pretty much make anything that you guys want.
Nice.
Or I theme it. I have this real cool one on November 1st.
Okay.
It's a casino theme.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
nice.
go, it's gonna be like
you're gonna be like a dealer. You're gonna dress up a dealer.
I'm gonna have the chef coat, but I'm gonna have like a hat on, and I'm gonna have a friend that she's gonna help me out, and I'm gonna buy her little like the
visor, the green visor.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's cool, man. That's cool.
So,
yeah, you gotta have fun with it, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
And so how's your like your plate? I mean, so when you left and you became this entrepreneur, you're gonna do it on your own, like, and you started making salsas, you know, networking and with all these like beer bars and stuff like that.
And markets.
How's that make you feel, or how's that working out for you?
It feels good, man. It's worked out really well. In the beginning, it was just the yard that I was doing.
Okay.
And then little by little, I got to know more of the vendors around me. And then they were telling me, well, there's this market, there's this market, and then now I have actual coordinators that are coordinating their the markets. They'll be like, they'll send me invitations like now, like, you know, like now I don't have to go searching so hard for them. Now I'm
begging to like, let me just please post up. You know,
now
like,
I'm getting invited.
So am I correct by saying you have a store that sells your salsa too?
Oh yes. So that one is called Sun City Sawdust.
Sun City Sawdust.
It's on the west side, and that one, the owner. There's two owners, but one of them, she's also the owner of Mutt Love Dog Rescue.
Okay.
So what I did, any salsas that you guys buy off of Sawdust, Sun City Sawdust, all benefits go to the dog rescue.
All profits?
So, yeah, all profits. I don't get any money off of that.
Oh wow!
Everything goes directly into my love dog rescue.
Muy amable, man. That's good shit,
no,
man.
You know how I'm
that's
very
paying it forward right there.
You know how I'm very passionate about dogs, man. You know, and
but just figuring out a way to pay it forward, man. From all the success, blessings that you're getting, and stuff like that.
Originally, that was the plan that I was going to be selling them there.
Okay.
So I have there's a fridge there that has my salsas, and then I've seen their posts on how, like, you know, well, Paul knows about the struggle it is how to find foster people. Find donations for the medical needs for these dogs, you know. So it just dawned on me. I was like, you know what? I reached out to her, and I was like, you know what? Anything that sells from there just goes directly to the dog rescue.
And these are good for like a month, right? So you said so like you just keep replenishing them. That's awesome, man. Seriously.
If they last you a month.
And how does it feel to be called an entrepreneur at this point?
It feels good, man.
That's good, man.
It feels good.
That's awesome,
you know,
bro.
like,
That's awesome.
It's the freedom, you know.
Yeah, keep putting in the work, man. Keep putting in the work. You never know what fruits are going to come, seriously.
You know, the goal is to have these at every store, man. So
badass, man. So look out for Jam's Kitchen, or just Jam's Kitchen Salsa.
Yeah, Chef Jam's Kitchen.
Okay.
On Instagram, it's chefjams.kitchen81.
Okay.
And then I have my meal preps there as well. You'll have I have a set menu, and then I have feature of the week. Every week I change it up. You know, whether it be sushi, whether it be pork chop, something just unique. You know what I mean? So
well, the producer Paul loves your salsa. So we're just gonna go with that, man. That's proof in the pudding right there, for sure. So like, thank you so much for sharing your story, and then thank you so much for like reminding me that it's been a year doing this, man. It's really cool, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
And now you're the co-host today.
Yes.
So that's fucking badass. We have a very, very cool guest today. His name is Jorge St. Patrick. I'd like to introduce to Mr. George, if you'd like to come in. Jorge St. Patrick has a YouTube channel. It's called EP Originals. You guys check it out. It talks all about El Paso. If you've never been to a Concordia like cemetery or known the history, he's gonna like give you a little bit of insight on other things like Segundo Barrio and just really some highlights of what El Paso has to offer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not just a border city, you know, like
exactly.
I'm sure nationally they're just calling us a border city. So thank you, Mr. George St. Patrick. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. So just so you know, this man is a grinder right off the bat. He's got his Target hat on. He's this guy just came from work, guys. Seriously, he's all about that. Seriously. So if I were to give you a title, would it be videographer?
Yeah, videographer.
Yeah? Is that your passion?
El Paso historian. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Seriously, because when I met you, when we actually met, who we are, it was through Long Life 16.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the band. It's a local band, Long Life 16. They got a punk kind of feel, but more passionate into the music and the instruments and the lyrics. They're all original stuff. So look up Long Life 16. But basically, me and you met because you're such a supporter of them, man. Seriously, like, and can you give us an insight on that, like where you guys met or?
Yeah, so Long Life, Josh and Luis Roman, they're like the two main guys that have been part of the band.
Right.
I've been friends with them since we were middle school, man, since we were little boys, and I could see like the passion that they've had when we were growing up. And when they were talking about starting the band and everything, like I was there in the garage while they were recording some of their first.
Saw the genesis of their band. Yeah, that's dope, man.
When they're trying to, you know, just like in the mad laboratory or whatever, you know,
and
then
you had to cover your ears a little bit, you know. So I've been to their shows though, man. They really got it down. Now they have it down, man. They're really performing professionally and doing some great things. But also I wanted to give you some props because we did like a wrestling gig, me and Big Joke, and I swear, like I told you, man, like it was weird. I had a script of things I had to do and like a certain way we had to perform, so I wanted to be in the moment and do everything I could for Big Joke. But I could hear you in the background like, holy shit, oh man, look at what man, Chef Clay, holy moly. And I'm like, damn, that's fucking cool, man. So it kept me going, kept me in the mode. And you know, I saw how passionate you were about the whole production of things and promoting
were
and
you
helping.
Wrestling?
I was, man. Yeah.
So he was in the main event.
Is there video of this?
Yeah, well,
I don't think they have. There's like some videos on Instagram.
And there's actually somebody that took the video, but he's holding it for ransom. I don't know. We'll figure out how to get that from.
Something like that.
Got you in your spandex?
Yeah, dude. No, I was in my chef coat, bro. That was my gig. I was Chef Clay. I even had I wear the checkered pants, the wolfhound.
That's awesome.
It was, man. It was a great experience. I recommend anybody that to get into wrestling. If you have any kind of passion or love toward wrestling, try it out because like I grew up loving Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. I was like all about
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. Yeah, exactly.
Stone Cold.
Yeah, definitely, man. The Rock, even, man. Like when he was like calling people jabroni and shit like that. Who the fuck is this guy? Damn, that's fucking badass, man. So in a way, like I saw Big Joke bring a character out, right? And I had to like kind of follow that, and man, it was fun, man. It was really, really fun.
That's freaking cool.
That was my introduction to who George was, and to me, on the outside looking in, I felt like he was either an investor or like that promoter, like that. You know what I mean? I feel like he had some skin in the game, but he was just a friend, just helping him out. They all had passion. They were all like just going the same direction and stuff like that. So here we are, and you have a YouTube channel with EP Originals, man. That's really fucking cool, man. Seriously, like because as I follow you, right? We're friends on IG, and then all of a sudden he comes up because you've done like videos and stuff like that. But this one was like boom, proof. I got EP Originals, and now you did like that first one. What was your first video?
My first, the first video on the channel happened to be probably when I visit Concordia Cemetery.
Okay,
nice.
Concordia
Cemetery.
I
need to catch that one. I didn't catch that one.
So and give us a little history because like you told me something I didn't even know, but somebody actually came to El Paso to do a
So Colin from the Paranormal Files, he's like a really big YouTuber. He's been all around the world to like haunted places and everything, and I've been watching him for years. You know, he's already like, you know, million subscribers. He's been to like haunted castles in England and all of that. And then one day one of his videos popped up that he was here at Concordia Cemetery, and I was like, what? So then when I watched that video, he really dived into it and told the story and some of like the paranormal like activity, like things that were happening there that I never knew about. And I was like, dang. And then one of the like, it was really cool for him to be able to like showcases, you know what I'm saying? And then I was all like, damn, that's in my backyard. Like I can go to Concordia right now if I wanted to. So that literally like inspired me to go and do the first video. And then I remember that first video, I shout him out like, hey, you know, I'm here because of Colin, this and that and this. And that video was kind of short because it was like midday when I went out there. So it was real hot. And then I was recording myself, and then all of a sudden like my phone turned off.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, and then like I had lost a lot of footage.
Was that paranormal activity?
So in the video, I put like, oh, sorry, this video was cut short. You know, my phone was cut off or whatever, maybe because it overheated or, you know, so I just leave it like that, you know, and I was like,
question mark.
Hit the like button. We'll come back and revisit it one day, you know, so.
Have you gone back?
No, I haven't gone back. I was planning on to last month for the anniversary for when I first uploaded that video.
Nice.
So I was going to be all like, oh, here a year later, you know, let me show you.
See if my phone turns off again.
Yeah. Or let me,
dude, I'll join you on the next one.
Oh,
that's cool. Man.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Let's go.
So you have a bunch of episodes. One that I didn't write down, but the one you did the hike on. Where'd you go for the hike?
I did 3 hikes.
So you did 3 hikes.
The Owl Mine Cave.
Yeah, there's Owl Mine Cave, and then there's one when I did the Tin Mine Cave, and then I did the what's it called, the Sugarloaf Summit.
Because I hike, man, and Sugarloaf Summit, that's hard, man. And then when you get to the top, it's rewarding, man. You feel the wind. There's a shack up there and stuff like that. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I hike, man. I never thought of like doing a video of a hike, and it was interesting, man. As you're doing the whole thing, it was interesting, man. So like that's much kudos, man, because like opened up my eyes, you know what I mean? Like, and I started thinking like, I'm always like taking pictures of my food, but like, and maybe I'll talk or say something, but I never really like show people how my day goes, like what I do as a personal chef. You know what I mean? So it gave me some sparks of ideas and stuff like that, man. Some of the episodes I want to talk about on EP Originals. The first one is the Segundo Barrio episode. Mainly because my grandfather grew up in Segundo Barrio, and he's I want to say he's in his 80s, right? So back when he was in high school, he talks about how hard it was growing up, but also how much love there was in that in the city. So I have much respect for showing the light of Segundo Barrio, and how like people are just living. You know what I'm saying? Like having it's a beautiful city. You know what I mean? Everything is like a lot of history and stuff like that.
Oh yes, yeah. With that video, especially with that video, like the current the current situation that we have here in our border with a bunch of migrants, coming over seeking asylum and everything, and some stay on the streets and everything, and there was a bad, like, I guess, reputation of Segundo, that it was just filled with gang bangers or
criminals
criminals or everything like that, and now these migrants that are just sleeping on the streets and throwing their trash and everything like that. And I didn't like that. I didn't like how we're seeing that on Washington DC or some of like these big networks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not El Paso.
And what's cool is like you have a way of not making it political and just giving a highlight of this is the city, this is what El Paso looks like, and you walk down all those streets. You met into a couple like local celebrities in a way, right? Talk about the boxing gentleman that you talked about.
So there's a gentleman, his name is Oscar Gutierrez.
Oscar Gutierrez, right.
And he grew up in the Segundo Barrio, and he was like one of the first people to start like I guess like a small boxing gym for some of the kids that were there. And he was really passionate about teaching boxing, but like making sure that these kids like were being taught like good values and everything like that, and eventually become good men and women.
Right.
So
am I correct when you said that he wasn't taking the payment per se? Like he said, show me your report card with all the A's, and that's big, because honestly, like right now for me personally, even me personally, like to get to the gym, it costs a certain amount of money, and it's a kind of a luxury at this point. You know what I mean? So I want to give much kudos to that person for having an idea. Like, you know what? I respect these kids. I want to promote the city. Like, you guys want to box with me? I got you. Just make sure you take care of them grades. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's fucking cool, man. Seriously. I like that a lot.
That's some Rocky Balboa shit right there.
Really, honestly, seriously.
Yeah, our own Rocky Balboa.
Exactly,
Well, definitely like a legend for sure. Another episode was from the Northeast with Love. Is that where you're from, Northeast?
I'm born and raised from Northeast.
Okay, so then you had a little bit of stake in that one. Like, you wanted to highlight Northeast.
Yes.
Because like I know like the stigma is like either it's just military or like that's the like I guess bad part of town. I don't know
like
what
more
you want to say.
Gangbangers,
something like that, right? But no, I mean, like, it was good to see you highlight the city, man, and show different light. I think that's the main thing of EP Originals, right? Just to highlight El Paso and show you how actually cool our city is, right? Hell yeah, shout out El Paso for sure, man. Lincoln Park. Oh, actually, do you want to say anything about that episode, the Northeast episode, that you want to highlight?
Well, just for the Northeast, I mean, it kind of had like the same reputation how we touched on, it was kind of bad and everything. So I wanted to, with that video, I wanted to like showcase it, but more, I guess like more reach out to the people that were from the Northeast that weren't there anymore, because that video was the first video that kind of like, I guess, went viral on Facebook. Okay. There's a Facebook page called Borden. When you're born and raised in EP, Northeast when, and then like people will be all like, do you remember this bowling alley on Dyer that's not there anymore? So like I would always see those posts of people like doing their nostalgic and talking about like, I remember we used to go like to Sonic after the Irving games and stuff like that. So when I did that video, I was like, I think people are really gonna love it in this page. So I posted on that page, and that was the first video to this day that over 1,000 likes and like 600, 800 comments.
Dope, man. Congratulations on that.
People were like, it was so beautiful to like read those comments, because people were like, oh my gosh, I'm not in El Paso anymore, but I was there when I was a little boy, or I was stationed there, and the Northeast was our, like our home and everything. And then for like, and then people are like, I remember, like, I know that church, I know that ditch and stuff like that.
Reach out and touch people in that way, man. That's fucking cool, man. Seriously.
That was like the first thing that made me like, that gave me that motivation to be like, dang, like there's like people do love El Paso, and there is people that lived here, grew up here, and left and miss it. You know?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. So. I grew up. I was born here in El Paso, and then my dad, as a contractor, moved to South Florida after Hurricane Andrew in '91. So that's pretty much like being 10 years old. I grew up in South Florida. You know what I mean? That's where I actually grew up and figured out things. But and I was always like, I'm never going back to El Paso, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I ended up going to culinary school in Phoenix, Scottsdale, and partied my life away basically. And then I was like, I say whirlpooled back to El Paso. But it was like the best thing that ever happened to me, honestly. Right? Like, this is like home. This is home, man. Seriously, when I started my business as a personal chef, I mean, seriously, like, open arms. Like, seriously, during COVID, like, they were saying, yeah, come into my house. Like, yeah, I want you to cook for me. Oh, that's what you do? Like, I'm like, damn. So people are like saying now that you are a personal chef and you have a little bit of success, you should go to San Antonio or you should go to Dallas. And I'm like, I don't even listen to that. I don't even listen to that, because why would I go somewhere else and try to make it again when I'm in a great city and they open their arms to me? You know what I'm saying? So so much respect to you for highlighting the city and another thing I have, you have a video on Lincoln Park. Not the band, but the Lowrider show. Yeah. Dude, and as a kid, when I was younger, I just remember seeing like the murals and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not allowed over there, dude. That's not gangsters, but like that's like lowriders. That's not my style. I
used to play basketball there.
Right? Oh, you did? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. And like you just highlighted that anybody can go down there and see some culture. You know what I mean? See what El Paso's actually about. You know what I mean? I mean the way that the Chicos dressed up and stuff like that, and the lowriders, the whole vibe was really, really cool, man. You highlighted that really, really well too, man. Seriously,
with that video, I really wanted to show the love that El Paso has for the culture, the lowrider culture and everything.
1000%.
Because I mean, growing up, I remember the first ever lowrider that I saw was Eddie Guerrero on WWE.
Oh right,
coming out on SmackDown, and I was like, what the heck? And him going up and down, and like leaning out and everything. I was like, and ever since then, like I just loved how they were like. I remember someone told me the best way he described them was like poetry in motion, because of how it's like it's beautiful, it's a work of art and everything. But it's going.
The candy apple paint jobs and
I grew up around lowriders, man. So it was great. It's slow but low, baby.
Yeah, slow but low, and then
dude.
And that's like the big culture here, and especially with that video. Well, like I said, like Lincoln Park is kind of like considered like the heart of El Paso. How it's like in the middle, kind of, and everything. That was a really beautiful video. I remember with that video, it was like the first time that I was really learning how to go out there and shoot. So there was like a bunch. Like when I watched that video back, I'm like a little cringe because there's some times where like the audio is a little bad or like the camera's a little too close to my face. So
and then after that is when you bought a new camera. Did you buy it or?
Yeah, so then I started investing more into better cameras and mics and
that's
everything.
That's that passion, man. It started like a flower. It started getting bigger and bigger, man. You saw the 1,000 likes, the feedback you got from your videos and things like that. That's dope, man. Another good one was the Chicos Tacos. Yeah. Because honestly, like if you have to, as a chef, like I'm not going to Chicos Tacos. Like that's just not my thing, right? But everybody around me gets nostalgia and needs to go to Chicos Tacos. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna hate on that. I'll go buy them for them. Like if it's a treat, I'll go buy it for them and make them happy. Hell yeah, let me do that. You know what I mean? Especially some people in my family, like they eat it and they're like, yes, I had Chicos Tacos. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just, if you love it, you love it. You know what I'm saying? So that was great for you to highlight. And tell the audience your shtick. Do you wanted to like kind of like, I guess you went to all the Chicos?
Yeah. So Chicos Tacos is like a big staple here in El Paso.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of like videos. I remember like there's a video of like the Texas Day Tripper or something like that. He came to El Paso and he ended off his night in Chicos Tacos, and he was like, I heard this is the only place where you could drink a taco, like stuff like that,
Yeah, my grandfather used to call them submarine tacos.
Yeah. So like there's a bunch of videos of people already covering Chicos. So I was like, how could I, because I was like, I can't have a show called EP Originals without having Chicos Tacos on there. So I was all like, how can my video be different? So in the beginning of the video, I was just like, you know what? Currently we have 4 locations in town, and I'm going to go to every single one of them, and I'm going to see which one's the best and rank them, And then I was like, come along the journey with me and everything. So we went to every single Chicos, and then I kind of just did it like on a regular, like if it was clean, the food was good, and the customer service and everything like that. Yeah. And I felt like, that was a really fun video doing doing, you know, going to every single one, and like at the end of the day, I'm all like, you know, like, and then
you did it all in one day?
No, so I did two each in
like
each day.
You poor guy.
That's like quadruple doubles, man.
Yeah, it's funny because because I did 2 videos of the Lincoln Park. One was where I showcased their annual they have like an annual car show that they have
the Loretta car show.
So then I did that one, and then I did another one where I just go, because that one was the first ever, like I consider that one the first ever episode of EP Originals that had the EP Originals title and everything.
Stamp on there.
Where I just went and I talked about it, and I'm saying, hey, in a couple of days we're gonna come and, you know, film a car show here and everything. So that same day that I did finish that Lincoln Park video, I went straight to the Chico's Tacos that's by there, and I filmed that part of that video.
Damn, nice.
Where, so I did. So
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, so I was just all like trying to. That's when I was like,
vision. That's vision, man. You know what you're doing. You have an idea, and you just keep going with it, man. That's fucking dope, man.
And then
seriously.
like
passion.
Like with Chico's, it's always like a love-hate thing here in El Paso.
It is.
Like when people tell me like, oh, like how do you describe Chico's or whatever, I just straight up say like, you have to be from El Paso to like it. If not, you're not gonna like it.
Like, you're either gonna even some El Pasos will like it. You either love it or hate it.
Yeah, you know, honestly, There's a place, Gasoline Rays. You ever been there? Gasoline Rays. They have a version of it, and it's just. I think some chef took that idea and then put like some love in, not love. I don't want to talk shit, but basically they made a sauce tomate, and then they made like cabbage on it, and
that's Chef Scotty, man.
Is it?
Yeah, Chef
Scotty's good, man. It's so good, and I was eating that like every week, bro. I was eating that every week. Like, it was so good, and I'm tired of it now. I can't even eat it more. But it's great to see like an original idea like Chico's Tacos that really made it, and then everybody's mimicking it. That's how you know that it was a good product.
I mean, now you can't go to a bar without it being like their version of a Chico's
tacos.
You do?
I make my own too, man.
Is it one of your meal preps that you do?
No, that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna
sauce on the side, rolled tacos in the middle.
Tony's rolled tacos coming soon.
Holla. There you go.
Here first.
So another episode was El Chuco when you highlighted downtown.
Yeah, downtown.
That was cool. You were like all over, like Stanton. Like where'd you go?
Yeah. So downtown, basically just the hub of it, like where I stayed. Because like they say, the Segundo starts right there on Paisano Road, and then towards the border. So I went from Paisano all the way to like the freeway where that street is.
But it's cool. You got an outlook on like the shopping, you know, the people, the culture, the style of clothing, like the way it looks downtown. You know, it wasn't like you put up cameras and lighting and then made a set. It's like, this is our town. This is our downtown. Footage, and then you know, it's enlightening. You know what I mean? It makes me proud of the city. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, because that's our culture. That's what I mean. People still go down there downtown. Like, oh, I have a quinceañera coming up. I need to go downtown and find it. You know what I mean? Where you could probably go locally, go to Still Vista Mall, but like it's like, no, I'm gonna go downtown. That's the place to go. You know what I'm saying? For these type of events and stuff like that.
Paso downtown has so much history.
Oh yes,
from the hotels to like the one of the episodes you posted was the Plaza.
Yes.
Oh, you know, because I grew up with the Plaza when it was still shut down. It was closed.
Really?
Know, that's when they were talking. When you talked about it, they were talking about tearing it down and everything. I was around during that time, so when they finally opened up, I was like, and I've been there now several times, and it's gorgeous. You know, the plaza is just
beautiful. Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah. And for just hearing that story about how it, you know, like that's the thing that really like interested me, because like we see all these buildings and everything, you know, growing up, it's been part of our lives and everything, but do we really necessarily know how it got there? Like who put it there? Who's responsible? You know, who's responsible for like hundreds of years later that we're going there to be entertained?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like who do we owe? You know, like to that? You know?
Yeah.
They have tours for the plaza too.
Oh yeah.
So whenever you want to go down there, they have to take you. I think it's like from 12 to 2.
Really?
Yeah. And then they'll go. They walk you around the plaza. Inside.
Yeah, because in that video that I did, I wasn't allowed to go and then record how I wanted to. You know, to go to all of the. So the footage that I did kind of have in that video, I snuck it in, you know. But most of these places that I'm like learning, they're kind of like turning me away. You know? Yeah, they'll turn me away. They'll be all like, because I did ask them for permission when I first went. I was like, hey, is it okay if I take my actual camera, you know, to come in here and get some footage for my YouTube channel and everything? And they said, no, you have to speak to like our like entertainment or something department, you know. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Make sure you're not like putting them down or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And another example was the Holocaust Museum.
Okay.
The Holocaust Museum. I went there and I asked them. I was like, I gave them, what I was doing and everything. Check out the channel, and they were all like, oh no, they didn't allow me to record in there. And I was like, why not? And she was like, because they've had previous people go in there and I guess abuse it or something.
Almost like bash shit, maybe.
Yeah, or something like that. So I don't know. So. Yeah. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go, and I went and I got the footage and everything, so that's one of the challenges that I've been kind of facing, since I'm like a smaller creator that's barely starting off. I don't necessarily have like a lot of eyes on me or like a lot of I guess like a motion or traction, so people could be all like, oh, like
subscribers,
or like I guess like motion, like on here in the city,
buzz, like you don't have that buzz that most like bigger people. But you're getting there, like you're climbing up that mountain, seriously. It's EP Originals, guys. This is what we're talking about. It's a YouTube channel, but he's highlighting El Paso. He's given like different places in the city that you maybe have never seen or just heard about, and you live here. You've been living here your whole life, but you just don't know about them. Go down to EP Originals on YouTube and just check out a couple of the different ones. Even like I told you, the hikes. We have some really, really good hikes here in El Paso. So he highlights 3 of those. Goes down Segundo Barrio. Highlights Lincoln Park, because like for real, like I didn't go down there because I thought I was gonna get beat up, honestly. But I mean, there's so much going on, more than like things like that. Seriously, I want to talk about Bowie Bakery because that episode blew up like really good on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And to me, Bowie Bakery is just old school. Like they've been doing some great things for a long time, you know what I mean? And I know for a fact during like Christmas time they make tamales, right?
Yes,
and so like my grandma, she finds a time to go get them at the at that certain time before they sell out and stuff like that. So what was your idea in going to Bowie Bakery?
So growing up, just hearing about how it was El Paso's best bakery, and then just hearing the stories and all of that. And so I remember the day that I went there, I was like, how am I going to do this? Because that was one of my first videos. So I was like kind of like with the first videos, they were kind of just like flowing. Like I was just going out there and doing them,
like leaving your camera on.
And then just like doing like whatever I catch, raw footage. And so with that one, I've heard a bunch of stories, and then I was reading the history about it, about how the man opened it up, and he was like, I'm forgetting his name and the family's name, because it was a man. He grew up here in Segundo, and then he ended up leaving to like California, to Los Angeles or something like that, and then he learned like a new technique or something to make pastries. So he's like, I'm gonna bring them here to Segundo, to El Paso, and then that's when he opened up his bakery, and then his son ended up taking over the reins and all of that. And just hearing the stories about how like they would feed poor families in the Segundo, like during Christmas time and Thanksgiving and everything like that. So I was like, you know what, like this is a big staple in El Segundo, so let me go and check it out, because in that video, that was the first time I ever been to the bakery.
Oh, okay.
So in most of these videos, they're my first time going to these places. So that's why I kind of like them too, because like I explained that in the video, like, oh, I'm experiencing this for the first time, so you guys are gonna be.
That's the thing, like So like a lot of us have lived here in El Paso forever, and we've never really been to these places. So I think that's great that you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure you have a lot more vision to go to more places.
Of course,
dang, so keep going with that, man. Seriously. How about Fox Plaza? Because like honestly, like some people are like, you go to Fox Plaza? Like,
dude, I'm there. If I didn't have a market,
like you can get some really cool things, man.
Not just that, the food, man.
The food for sure is authentic, right? Just the flavors, man, for sure. What was your idea in going there?
So the Fox Plaza one was just basically like, because with Fox Plaza, every time I think of Fox Plaza, I think of it as a Sunday thing that I used to experience with my mom all the time. Every single Sunday, she would take me to Fox Plaza, and we would just walk the market and everything, the flea market. We used to go to the one that was on Dyer, where the Walmart is now.
Okay.
There's a Dyer, there's a Walmart on Dyer, and there used to be a flea market there.
Okay.
And then they closed that one down. They moved it to the northeast by Northgate, and then they closed that one down. And then Fox Plaza has always been there. Yeah. So we just started going there. And what the idea with that one is, I just really wanted to show like the feel of a Sunday afternoon of me going to Fox Plaza. And in that video, like like I explained, like Fox Plaza has changed since I was little. There's less vendors now and everything like that. But I say in the video, like, I think I still come here because of the nostalgic feel, because I like to come and, you know, just walk around and eat a churro and just you know, enjoy the sun and everything.
For sure. You can ride a horse now.
Yeah, you can
ride it. They literally have
pony.
They have horses that they walk around the inside. Like literally, there's a horse walking right next to you, man.
Yeah, while you're walking through, and then there's a train too.
Yeah, there's a train. There's a freaking train.
That's cool. That's cool.
So with that one, I just wanted to showcase that our culture.
I think that's smart, man. Because like honestly, like I can picture like your grandma's taking their grandkids to there, you know what I mean, or like making a Sunday, you know, and going there and stuff like that. So that touches a lot of people's heart, man.
That's part of El Paso. Because like you said, my mom used to take me, my grandma, my sisters, my grandpa, and now it turns I take my mom, you know, to Fox Plaza. We have our menudo, our tacos de tripitas, you know, and
I remember I had a friend that had reached out to me one time, and he was all like, "Oh, dude, like, I love your videos because they remind me of like when I was growing up with my grandma, like just simple times, just eating tortillas and sopa and being in the backyard and helping her pull out the weeds and stuff like that."
Honestly,
like Fox Plaza, like that one really resonated. That one's the most viewed video that I have on my YouTube channel.
Really, Fox Plaza?
Yeah, it's like a 22K.
Yeah, so I'm saying I think you're touching like the people, the actual you're touching the people in El Paso, man. There's not people like, oh, what's going on with this? They're actually like, fuck yeah, you talking about my city? Hell yeah. That's dope, man.
With my audience, like I've noticed that it's like because at first, when I first started the YouTube channel, I was all like, my audience that I'm targeting is the people of El Paso. Like I want them to know and embrace their culture and their history and the cool things that we have here. Yeah. But then when I was like, you know, doing the videos and everything, I would get comments from people that were out of El Paso. Like, oh, I'm in Virginia Beach now, but I was stationed in Fort Bliss, and I remember, you know,
such good memories of El Paso.
or like I remember being there in the early 50s and 60s, you know, when El Paso was growing, and then now I see how much it's grown. So then I've started noticing like my viewers, like my videos are kind of like reaching a larger audience of people outside of El Paso.
Nice, because they're showing them like, this is where I was. You think I was telling the stories? Well, check it out. This is what the city is.
Oh yeah, I remember there was this one guy on the Chico's Tacos video. He commented and he was all like, "Oh yeah, I remember growing up eating Chico's Tacos, and then when I got stationed in I think it was like Air Force or something, he would always tell his buddies about Chico's Tacos, you know, and they were like, oh, we need to try it, and then he had told me a story too. Like he knew one of the guys that worked at Chico's, and then he would like, you know, kind of like expose their secrets, how they had like
the recipe.
No, not the recipe, but like some like how they would do it. He said like every like after closing, like in the early hours of the morning, like he would call them like taco fairies, and it was like a bunch of old ladies that would go and just roll tacos early in the morning. Wow. And then he said like another story how like the owners, like they were trying to build a Chico's Tacos in the West Side, and then the West Siders were like kind of protesting it.
Really?
Like, that's why they said they vowed that it's never gonna happen on the West Side.
Because they tried and they were like, no. So pues never.
Yeah, they were saying, he was telling me it was like they were saying, well, he said in the comment, he was all like, people were telling me that, oh, that's a Northeast thing, and he was all like, no, chale, that's a El Paso thing.
There you go. Yeah, for sure. Like, the Mora family, right? The Mora, that's who owns it. Yeah. Working in the restaurant business. I don't know if you've ever heard or ran into Bernie Mora. No. So I was lucky enough to meet him at one of the restaurants I worked at. Really, really cool guy, man. You would think, you know, like I'm the Chico Tacos guy. He's not even like that at all. Honestly, like there's a pretty down to earth, pretty cool guy, man. Seriously. But the last one that I want to highlight of your videos, I really thought of any restaurant that you would go to would be L&J's because people talk about it so much. Yeah. But you went to Rosa's Cantina.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't see that one.
Yeah. And I was like, cool, because I've only been there really drunk, but I know the food is damn good, man. Seriously, damn good. Yeah. So, is this somewhere you used to go to a lot, or
no? So that video was the first time I ever went to Rosa's. Wow. So in the beginning, like I was like we have like a bunch of like restaurants here, you know, family owned restaurants and everything, school, original restaurants here. And I was like, you know what, like let me go start doing that. But I didn't really want to like, because I felt like there was other
you don't want to be a food critic.
Exactly. Yeah. There was other influencers that were doing that, you know, showcasing like the food here, the businesses here in El Paso. And I was like, I'm more of a
historian.
Historian, my experience, come watch, you know.
That's the perfect place for that.
Yeah. So then with the food places, everyone was telling me Kiki's, they were telling me L&J because of how like the buzz about it and everything. And I was gonna do that, but then I remember, everybody's heard the El Paso song by Marty Robbins.
For sure,
And then when he says that, Rosa's Cantina, like when he says that and everything, I was like, Rosa's Cantina, like I've heard about it. I've seen it when we're going to Western Playland, So I was like, you know what, let me go check it out and everything. But first, let me get the story about it. So that's what really interested me, was about the backstory about it. The backstory, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that apparently, the story is that Marty Robbins was crossing through El Paso to Albuquerque or somewhere, and he was looking for somewhere to eat, and he stopped by at a cantina, and it was called they don't know if it was called Rosa's Cantina when he first stopped there, but he wrote his song and everything, describing how he met some girl and then he fought some cowboy and all of that, right? So then I was hearing the story and everything, and then I started doing my research, and they said that the building Rosa's Cantina was like first opened like in 1956 or something like that. Oh, wow. And Marty Robbins came out with that song. He published it in 1957. So people are speculating that the name wasn't Rosa's Cantina, but the owner of the spot heard the song, right? And he's like, "Oh no, this is the Rosa's that he's talking about."
Hell yeah, that's an entrepreneur right there, man.
I mean, either way, you don't know. It's like it's always stories, like
myths, legends of El Paso. That's dope. You latched onto that one, man.
So people like like it's either like, was Rosa's here first, or was like the man
or the other way around?
Yeah.
So you're from the Northeast, right? That's your home. What school did you go to?
Irvin High School.
Irvin High School. Okay, I think it's the first Irvin we have on the show, man. We've got to represent right there.
Right.
Matt, where'd you go?
Del Valle, baby.
Del Valle,
baby. I know most of your guests. Most of them have been from Del Valle.
Yeah, a lot of them have been actually. So a lot of entrepreneurs from Del Valle, bro. But good to see somebody coming out of the Northeast promoting the city and doing good things, man. So talk about your family. Is there major influence for you? I know you in the pre-interview you talk about your brother being the rock for you and like steering in the right direction.
Oh yeah, but I would have to like all of my inspiration and everything, motivation has to come from my brother. When we're little boys and everything, we looked up to our brothers. They're like strong men and everything like that. So I always had so much respect for him, especially the way that he carried himself. And I think that was one of the best things that he taught me, was how to be, I guess, like a decent human, you know what I'm saying? Like a decent man.
That's all we need, man. Somebody kind of like saying like, hey, maybe you should think like this, or what do you think about that? You know what I mean? Like just giving you the right ideas in life, because we're lost, man. We're just men trying to fucking make it in this world, right? And obviously women too, but we are men and trying to like provide and trying to like, forge through this, life of ours, like how are we gonna make money, how are we gonna make a job, and also how are we gonna take care of our brethren, you know what I mean? That we need that in our lives, man. Who that would be one of your major influences?
Him, and then my dad, and just my family in general, because awesome. I'm the youngest child of my parents, so I had two strong older sisters that like I would always see them just make it happen, make it happen for their kids. If a husband or whatever left them, they still made it happen. I owe a lot to my older sisters too, because they took the time to kind of like show me stuff outside of El Paso. My oldest sister, she ended up moving to Seattle, Washington about 10 years ago, or probably about like 15 years already. And once I graduated high school, she had already extended that, hey, you could come to Seattle, you could come, see that there's other opportunities other than El Paso, this of Southwest, borderland. So I was really thankful for her to give me that opportunity, her and my older brother, because my older brother was the first one to move to Seattle, and then he brought my older sister, and then eventually he brought me and my other sister over there. So I was like, my sisters, I really owe a lot to them, my older brother and my parents as well, because my parents, they're from Juarez, they're from Juarez, they're immigrants that came over.
Our border city, our sister city over here.
Yeah, they came and they did everything the right way and everything, and they just tried to like show me like, mijo, you have to work hard for the stuff that you want in this life, and sometimes I'm gonna fail and all of this, but I have to keep getting up. You know,
sure.
So,
yeah. It's not. Was that Rocky say? It's not how hard you get hit. It's
how fast you get up.
How many times you get up. Exactly. That's what's up, man. And that's what I really feel about El Paso is that we're a tight knit group. We're a family oriented city, and you know we help each other, man. We're really like down for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like some people have a different light on the Mexican culture, but actually, you know, honestly, we're family knit and we are willing to help each other. Honestly, and we get honestly, it's a great city to live in. The other part is like you're from high school. I wanted to get an aspect of like growing up in the Northeast, you know, and then having these great influences, of course, but also like what was your outlook on leaving high school and where were you going, or what was your mindset?
Well, the high school, I mean, going to Irvin, it was kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't necessarily like involved of what was, you know, going on in the streets or anything, but it was always going to affect me. And my friends were the ones who were like involved in it. So anytime like so-and-so got into a fight or whatever, I had to be there, you know what I'm saying?
Represent,
high school, like when I was my senior year, I remember my sister had, you know, offered that, that opportunity. And I was like, you know what, this last semester of my senior year, I'm not going to get into any trouble. I'm not going to mess with any girls or anything like that. I just want to be able to graduate and go to Seattle because like at that time, growing up here in El Paso, like I've always had that, people have told me that attitude, like, oh, there's nothing here in El Paso. You have to leave to go and find something or whatever. And sometimes that's true. You know what I'm saying? And I just, like, I had that negative thought. Me and my friends, we had that negative thought that, oh, there was nothing here in El Paso or anything like that. So that was kind of like my mindset when I was leaving high school. I was like, you know what? No, I got to go. I remember when I was leaving high school, I was trying to get, like, enrolled into the Art Institute of Seattle, but tuition was like, you know, expensive and everything, and I wasn't like I guess not like smart enough or anything for like these loans or something like that. So I kind of like let that like stop me, you know what I'm saying? And then I remember I had one of my brother's friends. I was fresh out of high school, and me and him, us three were chilling, and then he asked me, he's like, so, you know, what are you thinking about doing as a career or whatever? And I told him, I want to make movies. I want to be a director. I'm trying to get into this art institute right now, you know, but it's kind of difficult. And then he told me, he was all like, oh, that's cool, you know, he's all like, making movies is cool. He's like, but have you ever thought about the medical field? And I was like, the medical field? And I was like, no, I never thought about that. And he was all like, yeah, because think about it, you can make movies and be hot for 5 years, and then that's it. The next hot person can come and take your spot. He's like, but hospitals are everywhere. And like I really let that conversation get to me, and I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right. I need to start thinking more realistic. So then I got a job, a fast food job, 2 jobs, you know, and then you know, like I had to start helping with bills and everything like that. And then the mindset that I had at that time was that, yeah, he's right, that dream isn't realistic, but these bills, these obligations, responsibility that I do have that are in front of me now, that is realistic, you know? So what age is this, 18, 19, 20? 18, yeah, okay, 18 years old. So then I was like, you know what? Putting a lot of pressure on you right there, man. Yeah, and especially like just basically just figure out my way in this world, you know? A young adult trying to like see what I could do. So I stopped pursuing, you know, the Art Institute, everything like that, and I just really just dug into work. And then I remember that first year in Seattle was good, but then towards the end, that's when my dad passed away.
Oh, man,
and then
sorry to hear that,
that's
dude.
like that's when depression, like. But before, I didn't really believe in depression, but that really hit me hard, and I did get into a depression. It's hard to get up and do your things, and be fully committed to what you needed to do. Yeah, and then there was a point where I saw like I was just living to live, like, you know, like I didn't want to like, and then it sucked because
like an objective view, you saw yourself.
And I was like, damn, and then I was like, I'm feeling this way already, like at 23, 24, you know, like, and I was like, no, like I really do want to start like, you know, putting control into my life and start doing stuff and being happy.
Not being like controlled by the bills. Oh, fuck the bills.
Exactly.
The money. I gotta make the money.
So and then that's what I try to like, that's when I started to learn, like, you know what, money, bills are going to be there forever, but like these opportunities, you know, going to Rosa's isn't always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Being able to like,
like your vision. You just, at one point, I think it's from the work too. I definitely understand depression. It's definitely real. Like seriously, like sometimes it's debilitating. Sometimes like you just can't get out of the funk. I call it like a blanket. It's like you can wrap yourself in that blanket as long as you want, but like eventually you just got to take it off, you know what I mean? And take it off, go about your business and figure out a way, talk to people, talk to a therapist if you need to, but realize that it is real. You are going through a depression, and then figure out, you know, the tools that'll help you out of those. I think working might have helped you because you work so damn hard with the 2 jobs. You're like, I can work. I can fucking do anything. You know what I mean? Like let me fucking like go toward this vision that I put on the shelf for a long time, and let me see what I can do. You know what I mean? And make those inch steps toward, just like the hikes to get up to the top. Just make those inch steps, 1 foot in front of the other, you know what I mean, and keep going. That's the thing, like that's the respect that comes from when you find a vision and then you find your passion and then you just go for it, and not think about money, not think about all the people are telling you, nah, you're not gonna make it, you need to do this, you don't know what I need to do. I know what I need to do, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you did, because the way you speak about it, you're so passionate about it, man. It just shows, man. It's overflowing with it. So I'm glad you did. Good for you, man.
Oh, thank you. Another I never really tell this story, but another reason why I started the YouTube channel was last year I had a really bad accident and I ended up breaking my jaw.
Damn,
like,
dude.
Really bad jaw. They wired me shut and everything. I was Kanye. I was wired
through the wire.
Yeah. So when that happened, that was another like time when another like episode of depression hit me, because I wasn't going to work. I was stuck at home, and I'm
losing weight.
Oh my gosh, man, I got really super skinny that I feel like to this day I haven't put on the weight back that I lost. And it was really difficult learning how to eat through a straw. Everything that they're giving me is pudding, applesauce, you know, and I'm like, I want a burger, I want bacon, you know, like, and that was like really hard, because like I don't like to like, I'm a outdoors person, like I like to go out and do stuff and all of that, and I was really stuck at home for a long time. So that was really like another psychological thing that I had to like, I was dealing with like my physical thing and then the psychological part. And one of the things like, oh dude, like I'm not ashamed, but like I remember like I would cry because I would just be all like, am I gonna even be able to talk again, like am I gonna have like a weird like where I'm mumbling or anything like that, you know? And then that's when like, I don't want to like sound corny or anything, but like when like it like the YouTube like career flashed before my eyes, you know, and I was just like, oh, like no, I gotta do it, like you know, I gotta do
that's
it.
Vision, man. That's fucking dope.
You literally got the vision.
I don't know if you're a religious person, but do you believe like I believe that God gives you, you know, if you ask for strength, He's not going to give you strength. He gives you the adversity first so that you realize how what strength is and how to get there. So
so with me, like I've growing up, like my mom, she never like kind of pushed like a certain religious on us, like Catholic or Christian or anything like that. My grandma, like my mom's side of the family are Christians. So growing up, you know, like I was, you know, growing up, like learning religion and everything like that, I was like, I didn't know much about it. So I was kind of like trying to learn and everything. But then I kind of like came to like a realization, like a conclusion, realization was like, it doesn't matter like if I believe in a certain religion or anything, as long as I have a good relationship with God. Like as I know, like as long as God knows that I'm trying my best, that I'm a good man and everything like that.
That's like, fucking good, bro. That's like, deep. That's the serious.
That's all that really matters. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, absolutely.
So I tried to do believe that there is a higher being that's, you know,
someone, definitely something.
So I was like. Like when it comes to like religion or anything, I just believe in God. Like God's just you know what I'm saying? So
I'm just saying like but going through all that, man, like I don't obviously in the moment not necessarily say, oh, I asked for strength and this is my adversity. No, it's just like retrospect. Like you're looking back like, damn, like at that moment I needed strength and I needed to find my vision and like to latch onto it and not like just maybe that's my vision. No, I have to like anchor myself onto my vision and figure out how to get there, you know what I'm saying, and be strength and show people the passion and bring people with me, not just like take this rocket ship by myself, you know what I mean? So absolutely, man. So as you're going through all this stuff, maybe even throughout your whole life, like what as a man, like what inspires you?
So many different things, man. Honestly, so many different things.
It could be like a person. It could be like something. But like, what gets you going? Like, what inspires you? Like,
one of the first things that comes to my mind is Kobe Bryant.
Fuck yeah,
Kobe
dude.
Bryant. I loved Kobe. He was my favorite player. I do put Michael Jordan as the greatest, but Kobe was my you know.
No, and I'm a Jordan lover, but after Kobe passed, I learned way more about the person Kobe Bryant.
And what I loved about him was that like during the time, like, because I remember like when learning about basketball and everything, and then when you're learning about Jordan, you hear about all these players that played with him that they're all like, oh, Black Jesus, or they were kind of like intimidated by him, you know what I'm saying? But here comes a 17-year-old like, no, I'm better than this.
Than you, right?
Like, I'm better
challenging
than the greatest.
him.
Like, and then so that's what I loved about Kobe, was like that he was scared of the challenge, that he was confident in himself to like, you know, I put in all of this work and everything, like I'm ready to, I put in all of this work, so when it comes to battle, like I'm ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's like what I learned, because I used to play basketball in high school, so he was like my big motivation of like being in the gym and getting in the reps and everything. It's not, you know, how good you are, is how many times you do something, you know what I'm saying? And until it becomes muscle memory. So Kobe was like one of my biggest inspirations, especially when he started the Mamba mentality.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's a great thing to latch onto.
And I liked how, like, you know, when he was like, you know, starting to retire and everything, he took that Mamba mentality from basketball and put it into like, oh, I'm going to get these, you know, my little girls AAU team, I'm going to make them champions. Oh, I'm going to get women's sports good. Oh, I'm going to do Grammys and Oscars.
But his public speaking at that point, he was reaching an audience that wasn't just basketball. You know what I mean? Like me as a chef, I'm like, yeah, man, I got to work harder. I can't cry about this bullshit. I got to work harder. That's what's going to get me where I'm going. You know what I mean? Like putting in that 5 a.m. Work, when being in the kitchen, like if your station's not ready, you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? And then get your station ready, and then help other people get ready. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was a Mamba mentality, man. Seriously, that's inspirational for sure. For anybody,
I feel like everybody should have. And it's like really unfortunate that, you know, with his passing, you know, that happened, and a lot of people like were all like realizing that, you know, but it like the saying goes, like sometimes like things have to go south for you to like, you know.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kobe. Honestly,
rest in peace to the Mamba.
I remember exactly when I found out that he passed. I was like, "What, is that real? Like Kobe? Like Kobe?
Yeah,
like
we couldn't believe it. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and even till today, like it's like he's not here. Yeah. Like that's nuts, because he's such an inspiration. Like I remember being back in the day. I was going through culinary school in Scottsdale. And so I'd go to Phoenix Suns games. That was my team. You know what I mean? Like
I'm a Suns fan, man.
Hey, are you? I'm a Miami Heat fan for life, honestly. But at that time, I lived in Phoenix. Like there was a whole culture going on. Like the Diamondbacks were hitting the Suns games, like with Stoudemire and Steve Nash. Like it was big. So I would go to the games. Kobe Bryant would kill the Suns, bro. As good as they were, he would just be like, "Oh, you're that good this right now today." Boom.
I got to go to the playoff game where they knocked us out of the playoffs.
Dude,
with Steve Nash,
Boris Diaw.
I literally was at behind me was the wall.
Yeah,
you know, but I was there, man, and I can remember that's when he did the whole wave thing. And
man,
like, dude. Damn you, Kobe.
I hated him, bro. I hated him so bad. Like, but it was because he was so good. He was the GOAT at that point. Jordan played, and I seen him play, and he's great, and he's the GOAT for forever. But in that moment, dude, I hated him because he was so good. And now I know it's because he prepared himself, man. He was there before everybody got there and stayed later, and he put in all that work and stayed confident throughout everything, man. When he scored 81, like it was an accident almost. Like he's like, it's an accident. Like I don't know, like whatever. That's true talent, true grit, true just like seeing like this is what I got to do and being ready. You know what I mean? That's the thing about opportunity. People, I never got an opportunity. You're gonna get an opportunity, but are you gonna be ready for that opportunity? That's the point. So always keep yourself ready. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a chef, keep your knife sharp. Keep your knife sharp. Keep your bag full of all the tools you think you're gonna need, and then go out there and be ready for the opportunity, because you never know. Like Chef Tony, you left your position at one point, and then somebody else had to step into it, right? Yeah, absolutely. So it happens all the time. So as a videographer, as somebody who lives in El Paso, like I wanted to ask this question, see if I can see if you can kind of grip it. How do you translate your struggles and triumphs as a videographer to everyday life?
Like, how do I represent that in my videos?
Not necessarily that, but how like being a videographer and like having to edit and having to get the right perfect picture. Is there a way that you can kind of correlate to everyday life?
That's a good question.
Just living.
I guess probably just like staying persistent. With the. I think it's just like experience it, you know, like just going out there and experience it, just being scared shitless and still going, you know,
right?
Still going out there and doing it. Like, you know, with when I first one of the first issues that I had starting like the channel was being in front of a camera, you know, being there and feeling cringe and being like, oh, and then once you like publish it, like there's going to be many people are going to be able to view it, access it like easily. So that was like one of the biggest things that I was like trying to like, I guess, feel comfortable in my own skin in front of the camera. And when I was learning that, I started feeling comfortable just in my own skin, just being myself. So then when people are all like, oh, you're George from EP Originals? Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I'm like proud to kind of like say that, you know what I'm saying? Like
definitely,
man. I remember one of the first videos I did was the Winterfest last year. And you know, Winterfest downtown in the plaza gets packed.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was the first time that I ever went out and I'm recording myself and people are watching me. And they're saying things and trying to, you know, come into the...
guy, what are you doing?
You know, so then... and I was like really self-conscious at that point, but I'm pushing through it, you know. And then, I mean, the way I guess I can translate that is like if I'm going into a meeting or going into my boss and they're giving me my evaluation or whatever, like, you know, just go into it, just do it, you know. And
that's the moment,
like whatever happens. But like, I just finally like realized, you know, like I'll be more upset with myself if I didn't do it.
You know, absolutely. And then obviously like stay confident, right? Yeah, for sure. That's awesome, man. Like, I'm glad you interpreted that question the right way, man. Chef Tony, how do you feel now that you are Chef Tony out of the kitchen, entrepreneur?
It's definitely different because, you know, it's not like I'm a millionaire yet. It's not, no. So, and a lot of what I make, I invest right back into it. You know
Yeah.
But it feels really, really good not having that freedom. And how we had talked before about you know, entrepreneurship. What it meant is having that freedom is just, it's great, man.
And you did it, like you did it. You know what I mean? You're not waiting on somebody else to tell you what to do.
The fact that it's all me, my recipes, you know, my ideas, my ambition to wake up every morning and be like, hey, get your ass to work.
Exactly.
Because as easy it is like to say I'm an entrepreneur, I'm gonna do this. It's that easy for you to just be lazy. And
that's your choice.
And you know, it's like, I don't have to do it. I don't have to do shit today. But then, guess what? It's gonna affect you right here. How big do you want to get?
Exactly.
You know.
So the next question I have is it's geared toward like entrepreneurship. You don't necessarily have a business per se, but you have a brand. And so, what does entrepreneurship mean to you?
I guess just like believing in yourself. Believing in yourself. Really. Like just putting all the dices in, you know, all your what do they call it? Like when you put all
your chips,
go all in.
Put all your chips and everything, and just bet on yourself. Bet on yourself.
That's
believe in yourself.
That's a good one.
And have that confidence, you know, because you have to have that confidence in yourself, so somebody else could have that, you know, so someone can take the chance out on you.
That's an objective look for sure. Yeah. Because as you're doing your thing as a videographer, as a chef, and you're confident in your position, and you keep a clean chef code, you're portraying the best you can be, and then other people will, damn, okay, that's what it takes. Let me set the bar at that, and let me see what I could do. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure, man. That's fucking
and inspiring too, because I believe like all entrepreneurs, like they started from the bottom. They seen someone like, oh, I want to be like that man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I have to go through X, Y, and Z or whatever to get to where that man is, right, then I'll have to be.
And that's the thing. Like it's like a reverse engineering type of thing. You see the end product, and you're like, okay, well, how am I gonna do that? You know what I mean? What are the steps for me to get there? You know what I mean? And then definitely entrepreneurship.
It's like a mountain. It's like Sugarloaf when I'm walking up and I'm gasping for breath and everything. Sorry guys if I'm breathing too loud, you know. And when we finally make it, we made it. You know?
Yeah, like, dude. I if I hike 100 times, 80 times are gonna be Sugarloaf. Honestly, seriously, because like it's fulfilling. Like you get halfway and there's a halfway point and it says keep going. On the ground it says keep going, and I'm like, dang it. I got to keep going, man. I can't call it quits halfway through. You know what I mean? I'd love to, but I'm not going to. And then I'll make the trek. And then at one point, it's even like you're like climbing vertically. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
Exactly. It's tough. It's a tough climb, but it's rewarding because you get to the top. There's a shed. You know, like it's something about that shed. Like I just kind of post up, recharge with some water, beef jerky, feel the wind. You know what I mean? Take some pictures from the top. You know what I mean? Hopefully, like I really try to get there at sunset. You know what I mean? Right, sunrise. I try to get there at sunrise. You know what I mean? But it's waking up at 5 to get there to get get that perfect, but it's rewarding. It really is. There's a lot of things that are rewarding about that hike. I don't know if you guys want to try it out. It's Sugarloaf Mountain, right there by the Franklins, or
Sugarloaf Summit, right before when you go into McKellican Canyon.
Like and there's no designated starting point. Like you have to find it. Yeah, honestly.
Was that the one with the cave?
No. So that one,
has the graffiti shed at the top.
The one that I did with the cave, the Owl Mine.
The Owl Mine.
So that one was another one that I recently learned that no one knew really about.
No, I didn't know about it.
Like a lot of people, they know about the Aztec caves and then the tin mines and everything, but the Owl Mine was one that a lot of people didn't really know about. So I was like, oh, okay, because I had seen in my video I mentioned, there's probably about one or two other videos about this, so I'll plug them in or whatever. And I was like, but I think this is a hidden gem. Not really much people know it.
I had no idea about
when I'm going to the hike and everything, and then once I finally get into the cave, I remember all right, guys, we're going in, and then I go in and I see a rattlesnake right there. So then I'm like, so then I come out, and then I remember I said on the camera, there's a big snake right there. So then when I stopped filming, I'm thinking to myself, man, I walked all the way out here, and I'm not gonna just let a rattlesnake stop me, So I'm all trying to throw rocks and everything,
make it move,
so we can get to and then I have a little hiking stick, so I'm trying to get it to move, and then I guess I woke it up, and then it went to a crack that was in the wall, right? So then, I do the hike and everything like that, and then I go into the tunnel, and then, there's two other rattlesnakes right there in a little crack. So when I go into the tunnel, I don't show when I run past them, but when I'm leaving the tunnel, I show when I run past them. I'm leaving the tunnel, and then I kind of show that the snakes are right there, right? Yeah. And then I just book it.
Nice.
But in the video, you can't see because when I'm running the entrance, the ceiling's getting lower.
Okay.
So when I'm running, you don't see it, but I hit my head really
hard.
Shit. I hit it boom really hard. So in the video, you could kind of see I nudge a little like that, but I still keep going. But I rung my bell. Yeah, I rung my bell, and then I remember I'm like, am I gonna pass out right here and die?
And then the rattlesnake's gonna get you and shit.
So he even mentioned on that video, it's if this is my last video, no, I did it for y'all.
Yeah, exactly. I did it for EP Originals. I did it for you guys, and so I learned. So after I did that hike and everything and all of that, I post a video. People start telling me, the reason why that certain trail to that cave isn't necessarily part of the Franklin Mountains because of all the rattlesnakes and people have claimed that they found mountain lions in that little cave because they go down there and it's really cool. When I went into that cave, it was really cool.
Temperature change?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
So I was like, I believe it. So then I was like, this is probably why not a lot of people know about it.
Because I was gonna ask you what? Because he gets to the cave, right, and he's like, hello.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what would you have done if you heard something or someone actually saying hello back?
I would have been oh dang, and do we go in there, guys?
For real?
Do we go in there? Yeah. Hello. Who's in there?
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hello.
Same with the tin mines though. The tin mine, you have that little cave or that entrance of the cave part of it, and then you can walk down and it gets dark, and if you don't have a light, it's just pitch black. Period. Shit. So you walk all the way to the back, and then I've been there 3 times, and every time at at the end point, there's been different things. One time I saw a doll. It was creepy doll. One time it was a book and it said sign in. And one time, gosh. And then one time I felt I heard something because I'm doing my light on the wall and doing my light here, and I hear something, and I'm right away at the end. Right away I put the light in there, and I couldn't move. I was like, do I keep going? What do I seriously so it was creepy, you know what I mean? It was a cool hike. It was interesting. That was the first time that I went. It was creepy as fuck. And then because I was looking more for spiders, and all of a sudden I hear something. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's in here? Who's gonna rape me, or who's gonna kill me and take my fucking hiking gear?
Dude, and that's what. So when I'm learning about because growing up in the Northeast, you have a front row of the Franklin Mountains, but I never actually went and hiked and explored them.
Right.
So I think when people ask me what's probably your favorite thing about El Paso, the Franklin Mountains, because that was here way before anything. That was here.
That's history right there.
That's where it started. And then when I hear about the stories about how there's hidden caves and everything in the mountains, and one of my favorite stories is the Lost Padre Mine. I don't know if you guys heard about it.
No.
So apparently there's I've heard 3 different stories. One of the stories was Pancho Villa when he was excelled from Mexico, and he came here to El Paso. He he came over, but he had like a bunch of gold and like money and all of this, and he went to the Franklin Mountains and he stashed it.
Oh, wow.
And he hid it in a cave and everything like that. And there's another story about like some priests coming from, this was like in the 1500s, some priests coming when they're like colonizing this area, like the Spanish, that they were like on their way to like through the Camino Real. They were going to what's it called, the Albuquerque, where the Camino Real ends, because that's how El Paso was like I guess discovered by the conquistadors when they were trying to build a royal highway to so
to the priest.
So the priest, he was there's a story how there was some priests that were like fleeing like Spanish rule or something like that, and they went and they buried their treasure.
Oh shit. So everybody's digging holes up there?
So
you
this
mentioned
was like
this one on the Fort Bliss one, right? You
no,
mentioned this?
No, I mentioned I didn't mention this story in the video. I don't think so. But
so they stashed gold, or just
so there's that's one of the stories, that they stashed gold in the mountains. And so there's been people trying to go look for it and everything. So one of the things was that so the priests had stashed like the gold, right? And then when they went to Juarez, the cathedral in Juarez, like their main cathedral, they said like if you go to the tower of the cathedral, you could see like somewhere like there's a certain time of the day where the light shines of where the entrance is. So you could see the entrance from Juarez through this cathedral. So many people have been going to this cathedral and trying to map it out and everything, and like so there's been plenty of people that have been trying to go out there and look for
hike with metal detectors and shit.
There's this one man, they went up to it, they went up and they were searching it, right? And then they found like a bunch of rocks that didn't necessarily look natural to the part of the
terrain.
The terrain and everything like that. So they're all like, I'm pretty sure I'll like bet money that the entrance is in here, because you could see like they try to cover it up and everything like that. There was another story in the early 90s, 1993, 92, by the like a west side. There was like some utility, like the water guys, they were fixing one of the water drains in the street. So they were breaking through the floors and everything like that. And then they stumbled up a tavern or like a cavern or whatever, like a big entrance into like a big, room or anything like that.
Goonie style or something?
Yeah. So when they like, apparently when they like found this entrance and everything, they notified the city officials, and they went and they covered it up. They sealed it. They didn't want to go in and explore it or anything like that. They were just like, nope, let's So people say it might be in there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of hidden
gold
caves
in them there hills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's what's up, man. There's a lot of history, man. Seriously, and not only history, but like tons of hikes to do in El Paso. Seriously,
yes.
Yeah. There's nothing to do in El Paso. And, like wake up early and go hike. Seriously, like you see the city, you'll see all kinds of different things. It's kind of like a little bit redundant in question, but I want to see if you can maybe answer it from a different perspective. How do you maintain what keeps you motivated as a videographer and like podcast producer in a way?
I think probably just like probably the main thing, just doing it for little George. Just doing it for little George.
Fuck yeah, that's cool, man.
For the little man that was always like falling in love with these movies, like how I told you, movies and cinema and everything like that. I felt like it was one of the best ways that you could grab people and have them like invested in your stories. I remember like when I was little growing up, learning about hip-hop and everything, and then I'm watching Boys in the Hood, Juice, I'm watching all of these movies that I'm getting attached to these characters.
Just like you and me, man. I every time I see Boys in the Hood, I think Ricky can run away from that fucking shotgun. Like every single time I'm like, fucking real.
Or like that, there's like a joke like this man was like a receiver. He couldn't do a cut route or something. There's like a joke that they say that like he was a receiver. He couldn't do a cut route.
Little post action. What the heck, man?
That's something. Dude, just doing it.
Connecting to the little George, for sure, man, and doing him proud. For sure.
Just doing it for him.
If you saw him in the streets, be like, yo, check out what I do now. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
And then just inspiring other people too, because like I have a little niece and she I guess she got inspired from what I was doing, and then now she's in Arizona at GCU, part of their like film program and everything like that. So she's doing that, and I always tell her like, hey, like you're the one who's supposed to like make the family famous.
There you go.
Rich, not me. Like I was just
sometimes we're just facilitators in this whole game, man. Seriously, like we're the connection, the piece that gets the puzzles for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Dude, and I think that's one of the things that I feel like creators here in El Paso, we need to start working together.
Sure,
we need to start working together and create like a one big team.
I think all artists in general need to work together with all your art. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Luckily, I've been in a circle of chefs that are ready and willing and built a good culture so that, collaborating is easy. You know what I mean? Like, hey, chef, let's do this. Boom, let's create it. Let's do it. Or help me with hands. It's just a thing, man. Seriously. So all artists out there, and then if you can help out another one, just let us have them set up in your gallery, show their art, or just help them create their art. Whatever it is. Inspire like you're doing, man. Seriously. So speaking of which, like marketing, with your EP originals, do you have any aspect of marketing that you do for your business?
Probably just the only marketing that I really do is just the Instagram, posting it on Instagram and everything, and then
which is free marketing, guys.
Yeah, free marketing, and then I guess just the old school way, word to mouth, going out there and networking and telling people, hey, I got a channel, EP Originals, or it's starting to come to the point where like I'm out recording and people ask me, hey, do you have a YouTube channel? Or like, one of the things too. So one of my motivations, like once I got like the channel monetized and everything like that, I was like kind of feeling like a little like unmotivated because I wasn't really seeing the numbers. I thought I was gonna get money all of a sudden and everything like that. I wasn't really seeing the numbers, so I was kind of like oh well, why am I really doing this? Like those nasty thoughts that you have in your head.
You start thinking negative sometimes.
So
no
then
fruit, so you're like, what the heck?
I was kind of like in a little slump. Because that Owl Mind Cave is my last video that I had posted. So I was like in a little slump after that and everything. And then I remember I had gone to, I went to the Plaza Theater to go to the film festival and everything and to go like see a film. And I remember I was there and everything, and like I'm by myself because most of these places I go by myself. So I'm there, and then after the film, they had like a reception area where we could go and talk and everything. And I'm there by myself alone, kind of like a little, like shy and everything like that. And then some older man came up to me and he's all like, hey, didn't you do a video about Fox Plaza? And I was all like, oh yeah. And then he's like, oh yeah, we seen it, like we me and your wife love your videos and everything like that. Cool, and I was like, oh hell yeah. And that gave me like a little like, okay, cool. And then a couple weeks later I was at Cece's Pizza, and then I'm there getting my pizza and everything, and I notice a man's looking at me, and then I'm just like, who the heck is this guy looking at me? Like like what the like do I? And I'm all trying to like, do I know him? Is he a Theo or something? And then dude, so then I go and then I'm getting my food and everything, and then he stops me. He's like, hey, are you a George from EP Originals? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I knew I recognized that smile and everything like that. And I was like, damn, like that was really cool that when it's
your boy George.
Like when he saw the when he sees the videos, he thinks my smile, positivity, and then he was telling me him and his wife love my videos, that they binge watch all my videos and all of that. And
that's cool, man. It makes your heart like, oh yeah.
Dude, in the beginning, man, like in the beginning, I would be lying if I said that I jumped into this and I wasn't like, oh, I want to go viral, I want to be famous, I want to know. So like I remember like I was really like trying to like I guess like target like the younger audience and trying to be like my age group and everything like that. But then I kind of like, because I don't like, not to like say anything bad or anything like that, but I thought to myself like,
you're gonna connect with this group.
Yeah, I'm gonna connect with the right people. Like my videos are gonna find the right people, and I want that audience because I don't necessarily like no shade or anything, but I don't necessarily want the Fit Fam audience.
Sure,
I don't want the Fit Fam audience because they're like really toxic and everything like that.
Even though they get like hundreds of thousands of views every day.
Yeah, dude, and I didn't necessarily want to like target that audience. I wanted people to love El Paso.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're creating a good niche, and you're doing that for sure, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So we're running a little bit short on time, but I have some definitely key questions for Grind2Hard and what we ask our people here. But business plans for the future, like for the podcast. Do you have anything that you want to share to the audience? Something big that you have on the horizon?
Probably. I do want to start well, this year when I went to the film festival, I was there, watching these film festivals and everything like that, and I really got inspired, and I was like, you know what, like, and not to like say be conceited or anything, but some of the films I felt like I could have done better.
Nice.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
It gives you like you saw the films and you're like, I can do this. I wanna put my not only enter into the film festival, but I really believe I have a great chance to win something.
I want to win it next year.
Excellent.
So
man,
that's probably like one of my goals.
Man.
I want to win it, and I want to tell a story that's going to resonate with people of El Paso. You know what I'm saying? Like I really want to because there's been people like when they come and film here in El Paso, they use El Paso as a background, or maybe
Western background, or desert background.
Like but I really do want to show El Paso the streets and the families and the ayayas and everything like that we have here, the lingo and all of that. So.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, man.
Or Spanglish.
And how about advice? Do you have any advice that you would love to directly give to the podcasters or just lovers of EP?
Oh, yes. If anyone's watching this that wants to do anything, probably like a passion that you've been, trying to do for a while, but you're insecure or whatever, just go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you have to go out there and learn how to swim before you could start, doing these laps and everything that, or sink or swim or whatever, something like that. Don't give up. Don't give up. And of course, there's always going to be haters that if you do something good or bad, there's always going to have someone to give their 2 cents. You know what I'm saying?
So, their negativity.
It's going to happen either way, right?
Oh, and learn how to take criticism. Learn how to take criticism. Learn how to be able to take criticism and be coachable, because you don't know it all.
Yeah.
You don't know it all. So there's going to be people that you come across that are going to be willing to teach you, might know a little bit more than you. So, play the game. Just play the game.
Whatever it's worth, right?
Yeah, play the game.
Hell yeah. And then 2 of the best questions we have here, obviously, so it's define the line between confidence and cockiness. You seem like a chill guy, man. Yeah. I don't ever see you being brash or maybe getting angry, but what is the definition, that line of confidence and cockiness?
I think confidence is just being sure of yourself, but also being humble and being aware that there's different circumstances throughout the world, and people are in different situations, that some people aren't going to have the Jordans, or some people aren't going to have the money that you have, or there's always going to be people that are less fortunate than you know what I'm saying? So that you could be confident in yourself and everything like that, but don't forget that part about it. You know what I'm saying? Because for the cocky people, they're all about them and their own benefits and everything like that. But when you're confident in yourself, I feel like it's a mixture of all the stuff that you go through life, the breakups, the depression and everything. It's all a mixture to finally where you're all you know what, I am confident.
There you go.
So
yeah, take all that knowledge, take all that history that you have that you think is bad or good, and then ball it up, and then just realize, be confident. That's your history. That's your fucking life. You know what I mean? So be confident in it.
Yourself.
And at that point, you, I think it's the stepping on people oh, you're lower than me, or I can just use you to get here. It's just nah, be confident, and then take care of each other, man. Honestly, this city is a good city, and we're good people, man. Just help each other out, man, for sure. That's a good definition, man. I appreciate that. And then as you're going through this, you're getting the blessings, getting opportunities, obviously. So what's your idea of paying it forward?
Just helping. I mean, well, the best way that I always feel like I could pay it forward is just with my videos, with the message that I'm putting in those videos, Hey, I'm not the most wealthiest guy, or I'm not, the most popular or anything like that, but I'm doing it because I love it. And if you're watching this video, you have some love for that too. You know what I'm saying?
It's called humble, man. Honestly, when you watch your videos, you have a certain tone, and it comes through as humble. You're
very
really
much.
And there's a love. There's a love for the city that's not just oh, I'm in freaking Phoenix. It's because it's a cool city. No, it's this is my city, and this is why I love it. Here, guys.
These are my roots and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always feel one of the biggest things is I always tell people too, your story doesn't your story doesn't have to end here in El Paso. It's okay to go and move and branch out and experience your life and everything.
That's your roots,
but you should be proud that your story started in El Paso.
For sure.
You should be happy about your roots and your foundation, because without that, you're gonna crumble. You know what I'm saying?
So don't forget your past. That's part of you. That's part of your for sure. Your origin story.
Yeah, man, Chuco. This is our
dude.
town.
Represent, man. Seriously, EP 915 Chuco Town, whatever you want to call it, man. It's home.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
El Chuco.
It's been a badass episode, man. I'm glad you were fucking coming on, man. Seriously. Thanks, Chef Tony. Thanks, Chef Tony, for being a co-host on this one, man. Grind2Hard is all about like getting people who have found their passion, have a vision, and then execute it in whatever way possible. So just realize that whatever your vision is, whatever your passion is, like it can help you in any way, shape, or form. I was a person that worked at Costco, and I worked 40 hours, and I was getting great benefits, great pay. But I just realized like this is not going to be my life for the rest of my life. I have a passion for food. I have a passion for service. You know what I mean? And I am a creator in different ways. So I took a chance, and I left my full-time job to start something that I believed in. And these guys did too, man. So this is proof in the pudding that you can do it too, honestly. There's 3 main key ingredients to this recipe. It's stay positive, stay motivated, and keep going. Like, it's going to happen. You're going to hit a wall. Somebody's going to pull you down, but you just got to get up and keep going. Seriously, guys. So I really appreciate you guys watching. I love doing this. It really is like therapy for me. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you can show somebody else and, get them amped up. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on the show, guys. Stay up, guys. Stay motivated, stay positive, and keep going.
Yeah.
Holla.